What's going on, fam? Hope everybody's having an amazing weekend. I'm super hyped to talk about the 5 pillars of building the business, the 5 skills that you really need to go from zero to a full-time level when it comes to the IBO side of things, when it comes to the business side of things. And we just had an amazing event lock in this last weekend out here in Seattle. And we talked about this very briefly. We talked about it for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, but I said, hey, this is one of the most important topics that we could possibly have. So let's talk about it a lot more in depth. And so that's what we're going to do tonight. And I'm excited so I can record this and share this with whoever in the future. But how y'all doing? Drop in the chat. Let me know how y'all are feeling. If y'all are feeling good, if y'all are feeling hyped, let me see what y'all got going on. I'm about to pull this up at the same time. Let me share my screen. Good day, feeling great, amazing, optimistic, awesome, amazing, amazing, lit, dope. Okay, cool. Let me go ahead, guys, and share my screen. And we're not going to waste any time. It's Friday. So, I know that certain people, got things going on Friday night. So let's go ahead and jump into the information. So we're going to talk about 5 pillars to go out there and hit a full-time level, that, P5 level, chairman level within the business. Side note, let's go on a side tangent. Let's start this thing off by saying you start this thing part-time, right? So you start this thing part-time, and then when should I go full-time? Answer, my mentor said, Cruiser, when you're making twice as much money as you are in your business as you are at your full-time job, that's a good time to go full-time, because once you've consistently, let's say for 6 months or a year, you've been making twice as much money doing this as you are at your job, then it's consistent and you're able to go full time. Don't go full time too soon, because sometimes in business you have bad months, good months, and you're not really sure what that consistent spot is. Don't put yourself in a bad position. That's some great advice that I wish somebody did tell me. So that's some great advice that will pass along to the squad. Some people just kind of, you know, quit their job too soon, and for the craziest people, sometimes, here and there that does work when your back's against the wall and you have nothing else to do but make this work. But for the vast majority, not the greatest advice. So let's jump into it, fam. And there are 5 pillars. Number one. Number one is being a product of the product. Also, product. Also, I'm gonna also call this personal growth, personal development. So it's kind of a two-part thing. So, number one, the first thing that you need to master to go out there and hit a full-time level within this business is just being a product of the product. Self-explanatory, common sense, but let's just say that common sense is not common. Reality is, a lot of people, are going out there trying to build the business, but they're not actually being a product of the product. For me, first and foremost, when I think of my IM subscription, I've been doing this for 5 years, almost 6 years. And guess how often my IM subscription has been off over the last 6 years, 5 years? The answer is never. You know why the answer is never? Is because I see this as my financial education. I see this as my business. I see this as nothing's more important. There's no bill that's more important than this, because this is what's going to set myself up for my financial future, for my family's financial future. So I have to, in order to be a product of the product, you actually have to pay for the product, right? So I see my IM subscription, at the top of the list of priorities. Obviously, outside of the basic stuff that you need to, be able to live. Besides that, I see this up there. More important than Netflix, more important than, everything else. And I say that because for most people, it's kind of like, for some people, I should say, it's kind of like a luxury. It's like, yo, you know what? This is extra. And I don't see this as extra. I see this as mandatory for my success. So when it comes to being a product of the product, the question is, what is most important? Reality is that Go Live is our flagship service. Nothing is more important than the live education. Nothing is more important than tuning in to go live for an hour a day, 2 hours a day, however much time that you have. So for me, I like that 6 a.m. spot in the morning, that New York session, whatever it is, whether it's Forex, whether it's social media, whether it's e-commerce, whatever it is that you're using, an hour a day of go live is going to be the most important thing to when it comes to being a product of the product, because you're going to learn, you're going to grow. And if you're learning and growing, that's all you can control. You can't really control when you're going to get the results. Some people are going to get results very, very quick. Some people it's going to take a long time. But I can tell you this. For the people who are committed to hopping on Go Live every single day, if you're learning and growing, eventually you're going to get the results that you want eventually. So, on top of that, another reason why being a product of the product is so important is because when you are a product of the product, it's very, very easy to share this information with other people. What do I mean? What I mean is when somebody hits me up and they're like, "Yo, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Yo, I just got done with trade night, help X person be able to do X result, whatever the case may be." I'm just not, at that point, I'm not selling anybody. I'm just quite literally telling people what I'm doing. You naturally are able to share this opportunity with other people, and it comes off so natural and it comes off so genuine. Why? Because you're actually doing the thing that you're talking about and telling other people to do. Now let's switch topics and let's say be a product of the product / personal development. Let's talk about personal growth. You should be focusing on the person that you become more than anything else. Yeah, go out there and try to make a lot of money. Yeah, go out there and try to achieve as much success as you can. But I'm telling you right now, when you go out there and you start to get those results might make you happy for a day, for a week, for a month. If someone goes out there and buys their dream car, buys their dream home, that'll make them happy for a period of time. Might be a couple days, couple hours, couple weeks, couple months, but nothing is more important than the person that you become. And the person that you become is going to dictate the results that you get anyways. So it all comes down to personal development. And once you get hooked on the idea of growing yourself, bettering yourself every single day, it becomes addicting. It becomes like a game. It's like, how much can I level up? How much can I grow? How much can I, do to get to that next level? But make that personal growth a priority. Most people, they're just doing the same thing over and over and over. They live the same year of their life for year after year after year after year, decade after decade. They're doing the same thing. That's why they say, what's that funny quote? It's like most people, they die at the age of 25, but they're not buried until 75. That's because they're living the same year over and over and over and over, and they never get into this personal growth. And here's another thing. As you start to level up in your life, business wise, trading wise, mindset wise, in general, anything that's not on that frequency will fall off. What does that mean? Here's what it means. Different people, places, situations you're going to attract in a positive way, but also you're going to have to let go of certain people, places, situations, and anything that's not vibrating on the same frequency as you. So sometimes it might look like it's not working because things might be falling apart. You ever start leveling up and you have a certain friend that's not leveling up, and then they're like, yo, they're trying to drag you down to their level, and they're literally making fun of you for leveling up or whatever the case may be. Why is that? It's because you guys aren't on the same frequency anymore. So be prepared that while you start to level up, like I said, there's no other way to explain it other than anything and everything that's not on the same frequency of you is going to quite literally fall off. And so sometimes things have to break down in order for you to have that breakthrough. And shout out to Felix, shout out to Austin. I know they did an amazing call yesterday talking about a personal growth plan. So I'm not going to talk too much about that, but personal development. Here's one of my favorite quotes of all time from who knows who. I don't know where it came from. But everyone's so focused on the income. 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures. Guess what? There's always another level. Everyone's focused on the income. You need to focus on the person that you need to become in order to achieve that level of success. Number two is personal recruiting. So check this out. I like to say that personal momentum precedes group momentum. Everybody wants their business to build, grow, and expand. They want their team to put in the work. But the question is what is it that you're doing? Personal momentum precedes group momentum. Personal momentum comes first. So funny how people have a negative connotation of recruiting. At this last week event, I said, hey, everything is recruiting. Doesn't matter if it's, Fortune 500 companies, they're trying to recruit new talent. Businesses are looking for new executives. Sports teams are looking for new talent. College is looking to recruit. If you have a boyfriend, girlfriend, then you recruited that person, right? Husband, wife, you recruited that person for life. That's the hardest sale that you could possibly make. It all comes down to recruiting, the military, whatever. Everything is recruiting. Everything is influencing. Everything comes down to this one skill. So the question is are you leading by example? For me, I got someone started yesterday. I have two more starting within the next 2 days. Why? Because I understand that personal momentum precedes group momentum. You know, it's funny. I'm definitely not the greatest recruiter on the planet. If like all the skills that I have, if we're talking about grades like A, B, C grades, F as in fail for grades, I'm probably like a C. I'm like a solid C when it comes to recruiting. I'm like an A at a bunch of different things, but when it comes to recruiting, which is one of the most important skills, I'm a C. But I'll tell you this, nobody 99.9% of the time is going to outwork me. And you can make up in numbers sometimes of what you lack in skill. So there's no excuse for anybody because if you are at least putting it, like I said, you don't even have to be the greatest person at doing it. Yeah, you could work on that skill. Yeah, you can get better. But if you're just actually genuinely trying, it's going to be impossible for you to not bring new people on a monthly basis, weekly basis. Eventually, you have a goal to be doing that on a daily basis. So, how do you do that? Well, you need to have, you need to have I'm gonna give you guys a bunch of tips on this because I know that some people are amazing at this. They come in, they're just social naturals. It's the easiest thing for some people. They were like me, super naturally introverted, couldn't talk to one person, let alone a group of people, whatever. I'm gonna give you guys some big tips on this so that you guys can really master this one skill. First things first is this. You have to have a target market. What is a target market? Whatever business that you're in, doesn't matter if it's financial education, doesn't matter if it's insurance, doesn't matter if it's door to door, doesn't matter if it's pest control, doesn't matter if it's coffee, doesn't matter, whatever it is. You have an ideal customer, you have an ideal business partner. You have to have the picture of the perfect client in your head. Otherwise, how can you attract the right client if you don't know what the right client looks like? So for me, I look for people in this business that have certain qualities. For me, those qualities are desire, coachability, and work ethic. Give me somebody that has a burning desire. They have a strong work ethic and they're super, super coachable. When you tell them to run the play, they actually run the play. I'll have them be a new success story every single time. But it's not just qualities. Maybe you want to share this opportunity with people that have certain occupations because they tend to have those qualities. Maybe it's other salespeople or real estate people or insurance people or people who are in the gym because they already have a strong work ethic, or maybe it's people that live in a certain city, state, country that you want to grow. Here's the thing. There's not the right answer for everybody, but you have to have the perfect idea. It just blows my mind how 9 out of 10 people, not just, in IM, but just in this industry, you ask them like, yo, describe to me the perfect person that you're looking for. When it comes to this business, 9 times out of 10 people don't have an answer or it's a terrible answer. So that's step one is what is your target market? What exactly are you looking for in a potential business partner, customer, or both? Then, you know what's next? The next thing that you have to do once you have the perfect picture of exactly who it is that you're looking for so you could attract the right person. Next thing is you have to have an organized list. I use Notion. Notion is amazing and it helps me track everything. Helps me track literally everything, whether it be some of my trading stuff, business stuff. I don't care how you're tracking the people that you're talking to, but understand that 80% of people that see this information, it's the second, third, fourth, fifth time that you talk to them in order for them to start. So if you're not tracking things, if you're not writing things down, if you're not organized when it comes to your people that you're talking to, then you're going to miss out on 80% of people who would have joined your business in the first place. So how are you tracking everything? That's the question. Then Once you got the target market, once you're tracking everything, which most people aren't doing. So congrats. Now you're better than 80% of people. Now you move on to the three ways to generate leads. Doesn't matter what business that it is. There's warm market, there's cold market, and there's attraction marketing. Those are the only three ways to go out there and generate new people that you're talking to. So your warm market, close friends, close family, and you want to start here because if you have the best opportunity financially in the world, then why would you not talk to the people that you care about most first? And it's a lot easier, it's a lot faster, it's a lot of there's already trust built up. So you want to start there first. But that's the best part about it is that there's already trust built up, so it's a lot easier to talk to those people and it's a lot faster. But your people that you know is limited, right? Then you move on to what? Cold market. Now, people really overcomplicate this. So let me keep it simple for you on this call. Your average person meets two new people a day. That's an absolute fact. You can do the math. Your average person meets 10,000 people in their lifetime. Divide that by X amount of days, X amount of life expectancy, whatever. It's two people a day. Okay. So if you're meeting two new people a day, then you should be adding minimum two people to your list every single day on average. And if you're doing that, tell me you don't know anybody. That's perfectly fine. But in 3 months from now, 90 days from now, you would have met times two. That's 180 new people that you could potentially talk to about what you do. Whether it's in person, whether it's social media, whether it's however you're talking, meeting new people, you should be adding to your list consistently in that way. Now, the third thing is attraction marketing. So warm market and cold market, that's you reaching out to other people. Attraction marketing is you posting so people can reach out to you. What should you do? Answer is both. Why both? Because you're serious about what you do and the top chairman in the company that have the results that you want are doing both and you want to get to where you want to go a lot faster. You want to do one of those things, that's fine, but be okay with getting results in a third of the time. That's fine. But if you're like, yo, I want to go out there and have a lot of success and I want to do it quickly, I understand that success loves speed. I understand that the speed of the leader, aka you, is the speed of the team. Then you should probably do both. You should probably do warm market, cold market, traction marketing. Okay. So, what is my advice for attraction marketing? Well, number one is you want, if I had to put it in one word, I would say you want to post high quality content consistently. That would be my general piece of advice. Post high quality content consistently. So people associate high quality content with high quality people. So when I say high quality content, for me, I like to post education, entertainment, and lifestyle. Education, are people learning and growing from the stuff that you're posting? Entertainment, are people genuinely entertained? Oh my God, I was watching the funniest. I probably shouldn't even recommend this to you guys, but I'll just do it anyways because I really don't care. So earlier today, I was watching this podcast from Theo Vaughn and Tony Robbins. It was like the most random thing I've ever seen. But if you don't know, Theo Vaughn's like a comedian, one of the funniest humans on the planet, and then Tony Robbins is like number one life coach speaker on the planet. And to see them have a conversation was literally educational because you had Tony giving him advice, but it was so entertaining because you had Theo just being Theo, which is you just literally is your the best way I could describe him is we all have these intrusive thoughts, but you don't say them out loud. That's like Theo, he just says them out loud. But it was entertaining and it was hilarious and it was funny, so people want to watch. Education, entertainment, lifestyle. What are you doing on a daily basis? For me, maybe it's playing soccer, going to the gym, whatever it is that you're doing, you're going to attract other people that like to do what it is that you do. So high quality content and you want to be doing it consistently, right? That's like my general piece of advice when it comes to that. So yeah, talked about target market. You know exactly who it is that you're looking for. You have an organized list, so you're tracking everything because you understand that 80% of people will join through the follow-up. So you have to be consistent when it comes to following up. Now you understand the three ways to generate leads: warm market, cold market, attraction marketing. Next, last thing I'm going to talk to you guys about is PS3. PS3 system stands for peak interest, show the plan, three-way. If you're like, yo, what's the one thing I need to know to go from zero to P150, P600, P1000, the first few ranks? Answer is peak interest, show the plan, three-way. That's the only thing that I mastered to hit the first few levels. Anybody who's been able to go out there and hit those levels, 9 times out of 10, they'll tell you the same thing. The only thing that you need to know is PS3. Hopefully you've heard of the PS3 system. If you haven't, it stands for peak interest, and that's just you being the preview to the movie. Show the plan, have them see an entire presentation, and then three-way. Connect your guests to whichever leader you feel like they could relate to the most. What if I told you the first 20 people that I personally enrolled, what I said to them was, hey, I'm working on something really big. I'm working on something really exciting. It's a great way to make extra money. I'd love to get your opinion on it. And that was it. The first 20 people that I personally enrolled, I didn't say anything. I just said, hey, I'm doing something big, exciting. I want to get your opinion. Less is more. It's impossible to explain Forex, crypto, stocks, e-commerce, social media, travel, the personal growth, the number one educational platform, the academy, the go lives, the strategies, the price points, the compensation plan. If you try to explain that to somebody in a conversation, you're going to confuse them or scare them away or both. So guess what you need to do? You need to get very, very good at being the preview to the movie, piquing their interest, saying just enough to get them excited, to get them to see what it is that we do on a bigger scale, full presentation. So be the preview to the movie. People are so bad at this. There's a word for the opposite of this, and the opposite is called fire hosing, aka word vomiting. It's where you over explain. Don't do that. Don't be that guy. Don't be that girl. It's impossible. You'll confuse people, you'll scare them away. Be the preview to the movie. The second step, show the plan. Have them see an entire presentation so that they can make an educated decision. So we have Zoom calls, we have events in person, we have recordings, we have two-on-ones, we have group chats that you could set up with your mentor and they can show them. Here's the thing. When you're new, if you haven't hit the first few levels, someone's going to be doing the presentation for you. Up until you hit the first few levels, you literally just want to leverage other people's success stories while you're in that process of creating your own. Showing the plan, someone else is going to do it for you. So you just got to pique their interest and then invite them to see a full presentation. Doesn't matter how, because there's a bunch of different ways to show the entire presentation. From there, after they see the presentation, get them on a three-way call. Get them connected to whichever leader you feel like they could relate to the most. Peak interest, show the plan three-way. If you could do that one thing, that's the only skill that you really need to start mastering personally recruiting. So I guess I'll give you two other tips. Two other tips when it comes to personal recruiting. One is edification. Edification is everything. Edification is talking super, super highly about someone or something to raise their influence. So, for example, there's Chris Derrick on the call, right? Chris Derrick's on this call right now. I can say, hey, I'm going to get you connected before on this three-way call. I'm going to get you connected to one of my mentors and business partners, Chris. He's been able to have massive success. He's been able to do this full time for I don't even know how many years. How long has it been, Chris? A million years. He's been doing it for a very, very long time. He's one of the first people to, become a chairman and an educator, which is like the two highest levels that you could achieve within our company. And he's been able to travel the world, speak in front of thousands and thousands of people, and help a lot of people have success. And anyone who has a chance to work with Chris, anything that he says, everyone who has a chance to work with him has success. Whatever. Edification is just talking super, super highly about whoever it is that you're working with, and that raises their influence. So by the time they get on a call, they're going to listen 10 times more than if you would have been like, hey, here's my buddy Chris, right? And then last but not least is following up is everything. Like I said, if 80% are going to start on the second, third, fourth, fifth exposure, well, first of all, if I show someone the plan, yeah, I'm going to expect that I'm not going to be surprised when they when they want to start on the spot. 20% of people are going to start on the spot, so that is going to happen a good amount of time. Sometimes I see people who are surprised that they want to start immediately. I'm like, bro, like don't be surprised. Like just get them started. That's normal. That happens. But for 80% of people, I like to say that multiple different exposures times speed equals that person to more than likely get started. So multiple as many as you can, different exposures. So if they see a big presentation, maybe they need to, have an in-person two-on-one sit down with your mentor, which is more personal. If you get someone on a three-way call, maybe they need to go to a big event so that they could see the social proof. Different types of exposures. Maybe they need to see the products and the services and they need to, tune in to go live with you, right? Multiple different exposures times speed. So within a short period of time, is going to increase the likeliness of that person getting started. So that is how you follow up with people. Another thing about following up, a good rule of thumb is to double it. So if I give someone a day, then I'll give them a couple days. Then I'll give them a week, then a couple weeks. So how often should I follow up? Answer, a good general rule of thumb is to just double it over time. All right. That's enough about personal recruiting. Number 3 is team product / service results. All right, cool. You're a product of the product. You're a person growing. You're a person bringing people on board yourself. Now that you have new people getting started, well, what do you do with them? Answer, you want to get them results with the products and the services as quickly as you possibly can. Well, how do you do that? The moment that someone gets started, I welcome them to the team, make a flyer, shout them out in the chat, get them excited that they just made a decision that could be life-changing for them. I put them on the Fast Start training. Shout out to Chris. He made a brand new Fast Start training, one of the best Fast Start trainings I've ever seen. And it completely sets them up for success, right? Shows them where the Academy videos are, which live sessions to tune into, how to set up a demo account, how to copy and paste it. Literally everything that you could fit in a 30-minute video. Chris fit it into a 30-minute video. Shout out to Chris. And I send them the Fast Start. Within 24 hours, right after that, as quickly as possible, I say, hey, let's hop on a call. And then I answer any questions that they might have had. And then from there, I make sure that they have a schedule for go live so they know exactly when the live sessions are. I make sure that they know which events and calls to tune into as well. If there's any in-person local events, and I let them know about the 6 p.m. Pacific time calls that we're doing, like the ones that we're on right now. There's mindset calls, skill set calls, building calls, there's everything. And then one of the biggest things you could do on top of everything else is I like to help the brand new person copy and paste their first few trades. Shout out to Devin. Don't know if Devin's on this call, but earlier we did a 2-on-1 meeting in the coffee shop. We met up at Panera. So he's like, yo, well, he's like, yo, hit me up. He's like, bro, I have this guy who's super interested in trading. We're gonna meet up tomorrow at Panera. I said, cool. So I came through, which was today. So I went to Panera, showed him the entire thing. At the end, we pulled up a demo account, and by we, I mean Devin. Devin did this. This was his own thing. And he just, explained the basics of basics of a chart, like, pips, lot sizes, just the basics of basics. Took a trade right then and there. And then, at the end of our conversation, we would look back at the trade and it was a profitable trade. And that absolutely blew the person's mind away. So how hard is it for when someone's new and they're looking at a chart, they're confused, they're overwhelmed. Do you know how awesome it is for someone to literally walk them through copying and pasting their first few trades on a demo account, and how getting them a little bit of results can absolutely build their belief that they could do it? So that is how you get your team results, using the education and using the services. On top of that, I would say you want to do weekly progress meetings. So your job as a leader is to provide people accountability and support. Accountability, helping them set goals, set targets, but also support, just being there to help out with however you can. And one great way to do that is weekly progress meetings. So when your business grows to dozens, to hundreds of thousands, you're not going to be able to talk to every single person, right? But with the size of your business, if it's not too big right now, bare minimum, you can at least connect with every single person on your team once a week. If you're a P600, if you're a P1000 or less, that's 30 people. That's a classroom of people. That's not that many people. There's no reason why you can't connect with every single person on your team on a weekly basis, once a week. We're talking about one time a week, to say, hey, how's the live sessions going? How's the trading going? How's the questions going? And just genuinely make sure that they're making progress. You can't control when someone's going to hit their goal, but you can control if that person is pointed in the right direction and they're learning and they're growing. And that is your goal. So what do these weekly progress meetings consist of? Here's the answer. The answer is I say, hey, where are you at right now? Okay, cool. Based off that, where do you want to go? Okay, cool. Here's where you are. Here's where you want to go. In order for you to get from here to here, you got to do this next step. There's always a next step for somebody. Even if the next step is do the same step that they just messed up over again, there's always a next step for somebody. And if you're not sure, ask one of the leaders what step that you should be on. But that is what I do with these weekly progress meetings with people is where are you at right now, Bob? Oh, okay, awesome. Based off of that and your goal, in order for you to get from here, what you should do next and what your focus this week should be is blank. Simple. Number fourth pillar is taprooting. So there's personal recruiting, which is you bringing new people on board yourself. Taprooting is helping your team with recruiting people through people. And this is where the big money is made within this industry. Personal recruiting is more important because you can't taproot people who aren't there. So it all comes from personal recruiting first. However, every time someone new gets started in this academy, they know 10, 20, 50, 100 people that you don't know. And that goes forever. So if you know 1,000 people that each know 1,000 people, what's 1,000 times 1,000? I'm not good at math, but that's a lot of people. That's what? What's 1,000 times 1,000? Somebody do the math for me, because unfortunately, my brain isn't working right now. 1,000 times 1,000. Is it a million? Yeah, it's a million. All right, yo, guys, we all need to take a math class, bro. Yo, 2K, 20,000, a million, 50 million. Yo, yo, I'm crying. Oh my goodness. I know who not to ask for math. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I think it is a million. Yeah, okay. Shout out to Jalen. Appreciate you, bro. It's a million. All right, back on target. Let's get back to good thing we have calculators. All right. But 1,000 times 1,000 is a million. Think about this. If you have 1,000 contacts on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, your average person has 600 people in their contacts. If you know 1,000 people, those 1,000 people each know 1,000 people. You have access to a million people. That's absolutely insane to think about. So, as you're helping your team get results, what do you think they're going to want to do? They're going to naturally want to share this information with other people. So, what do you need to do? You need to teach them about everything we just broke down with personal recruiting yourself. You need to teach them about the target market. You need to teach them about the list. You need to teach them about the 3 ways to go out there and generate leads. You need to teach them about PS3, which should be easy because that's all the things that you should be doing yourself. Taprooting. Number one thing you could do with taprooting is help your brand new person with the invite. Inviting is very, very difficult for someone who's new. So if you could sit down and say, hey, say this, don't say this. Hey, here's how you invite. If you're helping them invite, they're going to get people in front of the information. If they get people in front of the information, people are going to join. That's just how it works. So it all comes down to helping your new member with the actual invite. Number 5 is leadership development. You need to go out there and develop leaders. Do you think that you hit Chairman 10, 500 people by yourself? Or do you think that you have a group of leaders that are going out there and building this business so that y'all can expand this and grow this together? How about Chairman 100, 5,000 people? You think one person does that themselves, but you think one person brings on 5,000 people? Absolutely not. They have 10 chairman leaders within their organization. So you got to get very, very good at developing and duplicating leaders. So the good question that you might ask is, well, what is a leader? Because you can't develop something that you don't know what it is. A leader is somebody who there's 5 characteristics, okay? 5 characteristics of a leader. I'm going to find them for you right now because for some reason, here it is. 5 characteristics of a leader. I got it for you right here. Number 1 is independent, right? Are you waiting for somebody to do something, or are you super, super independent? Leaders, no one has to call me and say, hey, are you doing work today? No, absolutely not. I'd be embarrassed if that was okay. I shouldn't say that. That's just mean. But like for me, like I hold myself to that standard where it's like, yo, I have to be self-motivated. I have to be independent. I have to be, doing the things that I know I need to do, regardless of what anybody else is doing, because no one's going to care about your success more than yourself. You have to be independent. You should look at, it's good to look up to people, right? When I see Chris, I keep using Chris as an example because he's on this call. If I see Chris Derrick, I'm going to look up to him, but I'm not going to idolize anybody because at that point, you're literally saying, hey, this person is, so good to the point where I can't actually do what that person is doing. You should look at that person and say, hey, I look up to this person as a mentor. I look up to this person as a leader, but I'm going to become the person that has those qualities. I'm going to become the person who's independent. I'm going to be able to do what it is that they do. Independent. Number two is problem solver. When you're a chairman 10 and you have 500 people in your organization, that's 500 potential problems waiting to happen. Not saying that everyone's a problem. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is something's always going wrong, right? Whether it be someone needs help with setting up their IBO stuff. Somebody needs help with withdrawing. Somebody needs help with, drama. Obviously when there's a large group of people here and there, sometimes there's a little bit of drama going on. So guess what you need to do? You need to become a professional problem solver. You need to be that person that you're not just delegating every single problem. You're the one who solves all of the problems and you're able to, figure out there's another better way to put this. Um, People say, hey, new levels, new devils. That's a good way to put it, right? As you're leveling up, there's new things that you have to overcome. Another way to think about it is, the higher the rank, the higher the responsibility. The higher level that you go in leadership, the more people that you're responsible for, the more problems that you need to solve. Problem solver. Number three is consistent. That is very self-explanatory, but the third characteristic of a leader is somebody who is consistent. You don't think in the last 5 years that I've been doing this, 6 years, that we haven't had some crazy things happen? For the month of December, I was pretty sick for most of the month of December. Guess what? I was still here. I'm still here. Also, a couple months before that, not only did I tear my Achilles on my left leg, I also injured the one on my right from overuse, and I was bedridden for weeks. I couldn't leave. I was crawling around. Guys, I was crawling on the floor for weeks, laying down for weeks, but I was still here, and you wouldn't have even noticed. Why is that? Because Chairman 100 isn't going to hit itself. No one's going to care about my success more than myself. I understand that I need to be consistent. I understand. Here's the thing. The problem is with most people, they're expecting this thing to be easy. I don't know what, I actually do know why. The reason why is because you see Instagram, you see, people always talking about, get rich quick, get rich easy, but you need to eliminate that idea out of your brain. And you need to say, hey, I know that this is going to be hard. I know there's going to be challenges. And I know that it's easy to be consistent when you're hyped, when you're excited, when things are going right. The question is how consistent are you when everything is falling apart, when things are going wrong? That determines, your character, which determines the results that you're going to get. So number four is a leader creates action and momentum where it would not have been created without them. Are you the type of person that steps in a room and then everybody feels that energy and then everybody becomes more productive and everybody becomes more like feeling in that, they start feeling like, wow, like if so-and-so's here, he's at that level, he's putting in the work, I need to do that too. You see certain people where everywhere they go, momentum is created. There are certain people in this company, you could drop them off in the middle of nowhere, and then 30 days from then, there would be an organization in that city, in that state, in that country. How is that? Because they create action and momentum where it would not have been created without them. Number five, last but not least, is a big vision. Everywhere I go, I try to cast the vision and say, hey, this is where we are right now, but this is where it is that we're going, with or without anybody. And when people genuinely feel that you're taking this thing to the top, with or without them, and they buy into that vision and they see the vision, then of course, people are going to want to do what it is that you do. Whenever there's a relationship between two people, whoever's more certain always persuades the other person. Every time. I'm going to say that again because this will make you a lot of money, this one sentence. Whenever there's a relationship between two people, whoever's more certain will always persuade the other person. So if you're having trouble leading people, casting the vision for people, telling people, hey, this is where we're going to go, it's just your level of certainty. And if you can work on your level of certainty, then you could change everything. You can influence people. You can, cast a vision and say, hey, yo, this is where we're at, but this is where we're going to go. And if you want to go, amazing. If not amazing, regardless, we're going to help a lot of people. There's another tip for you guys, which is you want to, what's the word I'm looking for? There's a specific word. I don't want to say not caring, but what's the word I'm looking for when you're emotionally detached from the outcome. When you're talking to people, you have to be completely emotionally detached from the outcome. If people say yes, amazing. If people say no, amazing. It doesn't determine your value or the value of the company. It doesn't matter. All that matters is because what's the opposite of being emotionally detached from the outcome? The opposite is being very needy, being very desperate. That's why a lot of people can't have success, is because when they're talking to people, they could feel that neediness, that desperation when you're talking to people. But if people can feel from you that you are someone that has the belief that you could take them from where they are to where they want to go, but at the same time you don't need them, you'd like to help them, but you don't need them, and that you're going to have success with or without them, and you're going to help people with or without them, that's when they're going to want to join. So, last thing when it comes to leadership development, um, not only do they have to have the characteristics and the mindset, but they also have to have certain skill sets. Which skill sets do they need to have? They need to have the skill sets in the book GoPro by Eric Worre, 7 Skills to Becoming a Network Marketing Professional. Great book. Those are the skills. I'm not going to go into each one of those. That would take a while. They need to have the mindset. They need to have the skill set. And then when it comes to leadership development and duplication, there's 3 steps. It's show, shadow, duplicate. When I'm trying to develop somebody as a leader, I'm going to show them what to do. I'm not going to tell them what to do. I'm not going to tell them, hey, this is how you take a trade. I'm going to show them how to take a trade. I'm not going to tell them how to invite. I'm going to show them how to invite. I'm not going to tell them how to do a training. I'm going to show them how to do it. I'm going to show, number one. Number two is shadow. After you showed them, now you got to shadow, and you don't want to just let them go off of their own and do their own thing. No, now you want to shadow them and make sure that they're doing it correctly. And then once they've done it correctly a few times, then boom, that's where the duplication takes place. And now they're able to do it with you or without you. Show, shadow, duplicate. That's it, guys. 5 pillars to going out there and building a successful empire. Number one, are you a genuine product of the product, and are you working on your personal growth every single day? Number two, are you leading by example, personal recruiting? Personal momentum precedes group momentum. Personal momentum comes first. Number three, once you have new people getting on board, are you getting them results with the services? Are you helping them take their first trade? Are you helping them get their first sale on their e-commerce store? Are you helping them grow their social media? Are you helping them book their first trip so they could save a ton of money traveling to TLX? I don't care what product that they're using. All I care is that you get them results. Once they're getting results, they're going to want to, guess what? Share the information with other people. What do you need to start doing? You need to start taprooting. How do you start taprooting? The same way that you learn how to personally recruit, you need to show them the exact same thing. Last but not least is then you got to develop them as a leader. You got to teach them the mindset and the skill set through show, shadow, duplicate. Let me know if y'all have any questions. Wow, that went a little bit longer than I thought, but that's okay. I said I was going to go in a good amount of depth, which we did. So that's good. Any questions, comments, observations at all? Let me know. That was all I wanted to share with y'all because that's all you need to know. There's nothing else to do. Like outside of those 5 things, we don't really do anything else business wise. That's really just it. Could you further elaborate on the traits of a leader? Which one? Is there any like specific one or like all 5? Because like I've talked about a lot on that. So which independent, problem solver, consistent, creates action, big vision. Which one would you like me to elaborate on? Let me know. Vision. Sure, I can elaborate on that very quick. Whatever questions you guys have, drop them in the chat because I'm gonna answer a couple questions and then we'll be done. But when I got started in Washington, there was nobody in Washington doing this, and people would say, "Hey, that's a negative thing. That's a bad thing. You're doing this by yourself." I said to myself, "That's a great thing. If you're in a place where systems are already created and all you have to do is plug people in, amazing. That's easier for you. But for me, I was in Washington kind of by myself when I started this business, and for me, I was like, wow, nobody knows about this here. So guess what? I used that to my advantage. I said to every single person I was talking to this about, I said, hey, nobody right now knows. After I showed them the entire presentation, I said, hey, nobody right now knows about this in Washington. When we blow this thing up, because it will blow up with us or without us. Somebody's going to blow it up here. There are different cities, states where there are literally chairmen everywhere. Like it's not a matter of if it's going to blow up, it's going to be who blows it up in Washington. And right now, nobody knows about it. And the people that do are going to be completely set, completely changed their life financially because of that decision that they got started. And I casted a vision of where it is that we were going and what it is that we're going to do. And based off that vision, people bought into that vision. And I was able to get, you know, way more people started a lot faster than I would have had I just showed them what we do without casting a vision of what we were going to do. But it's not just presentations. This last weekend, when we had this training, this lock in, one of the first things that we did was we talked about the vision of our group. And the vision of our group is to impact 5,000 families, to help 10 people go chairman 10, which is impacting 5,000 families in a positive way. There's the company's vision, then there's your vision for your team, for your organization, and your vision has to be big enough that it fits other people's vision within that vision. Um, but the vision is everything. If people have a vision and a goal and they have something to look forward to, then they're going to put in the work. And then if they put in the work, they're going to get the results. But for most people, they don't have a vision. And if they don't have a vision, why do you think they fall off? If they're not thinking about their future, if they have nothing to look forward to, I would quit if I had nothing to look forward to, right? So as a leader, you're constantly painting the vision, talking about where we're going, talking about what we're going to do, and not just talking about it, but obviously actually doing it. So I believe that is it. If y'all don't have questions, I think we're good to go. Cool. Perfect, family. I'm going to get this recording up for you guys. And yeah, had a lot of fun. Appreciate y'all for tuning in for the last hour to learn about the 5 pillars that you need to go from zero to build an empire and go full time within this business. Anything that I could do to help, I'm here to help. Whatever we could do, as leaders, help you guys out. We're here to help out. Last thing I'll say is hopefully you guys saw this on the last Super Saturday online, but I believe it was Matt Rosa. I might be wrong, but I think it was Matt Rosa who announced we're gonna have our company US convention, 1,000+ people, our company regional, 1,000+ people in Arizona in either the first or second week of April. They're finalizing the dates. I'm sure tickets will come out. I wouldn't be surprised if they came out tomorrow. So they're gonna come out very, very soon. But if you're in Washington, amazing. If you're not, I will definitely see you April. If you're like, yo, what's the event of the year? What's the most important thing I do in 2024? Answer would be go to the Arizona convention and whoever's life you want them to change in a positive way to bring them with you guys. So that's it for this week. We'll have a bunch of trainings next week. We're doing Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. And then I'm also working with with Chris. We're talking about doing some Sunday calls as well. So all right, guys, have an amazing rest of your guys' night. Have an amazing weekend. Let's keep this momentum going in the new year. Let's keep this momentum going in January. 95% of people that, hit February 1st, they slow down and they stop and they forget about their New Year's resolutions, but not this group. Let's run it up. Have a good night. Talk to y'all soon. Bye, guys.